Now, part of the construct command is going to be, and here is an example we can build from. So you know what? I'm just gonna paste it into Notepad here. All right, so let's copy paste in the sample command from our docs. This looks kind of gross right now, so I'm going to split it up. Actually, that's not right. So I'm going to split it up one flag per line, just to make it more readable. Center URL, username. Cool. Don't want any extra spaces. All right, so let's start filling in the information we know. The first thing is the IP address of the VM itself. Put that right there. Then we have the username of the VM, which we know as administrator, and the password, which is going to be whatever we set when we first logged onto that machine. The vCenter URL, which is right here. This is the base URL of our vSphere environment. Make sure no extra spaces. The username for our environment, which was that user we talked about earlier that we made specially for this video. Password, and the VM inventory path. Let's see what that looks like from the documentation. Did this. Here we go. This is the path it should look like, with the VM effectively being hard-coded in here. So our data center, over here, / Canada, DC, VM. Our folder was stem cell, and then our machine was 2019.6 stem cell. Now I do want to double check that before we run this, but first, put everything in quotes in case we're missing something. Oh, sorry, not in case we're missing something, just to avoid any conflicts with special characters. The IP should be fine. So I do want to double check this against the GitHub build documentation, because I know that we are going to need certificates, as we don't have those certs on our machine. We need to include them in our command. Sometimes the certs will be on your machine, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to assume that we have to pass it. So I'd like to see, vCenter CA certs. So we need to give a file path to our machine, sorry, to StemBuild, that contains the certs to our vCenter environment. Let's just put that at the end here. Backtick space, paste it in, and now we need some sort of file path. Of course, we don't have this file yet. We still need to grab that. And I can show you where to get the root certificates for a vCenter environment. So the first thing is that you're going to want to log out of whatever vCenter environment you had running. You're going to want to make sure that you're at this base URL. There's no trailing slashes that take you anywhere else. The page should look like this. And in the lower right-hand side, we'll see this link. It says download trusted root CA certificates. If you just clicked on it, you would get a very unreadable cert. So let's instead download it as a file. Save link as. It's going to have to be a zip file. So let's do vCenter root certs.zip. Oh, looks like I have an old artifact from a previous take. We can delete that when we save this. Let's put that in. Go over to our directory. We're just going to delete this. That was never there. So now we have a vCenter root certs.zip file. So Stem build expects an actual cert file, not a zip file. So let's open this up and see what's inside, see what we need to pass. I'm totally fine with that. It's a good name. Let's go inside, see what we get. Oh, there's a certs folder inside. Cool. So we see a bunch of certificates here. All I can tell you is that the .0 are going to be your root certs. So we're just going to go ahead and take the first root cert, and that should work. So our file path is going to be vCenter root certs, and this file name here. And the reason I'm doing these three is that we're going to be running stem build from the Windows stem cell directory. So file path here, let's do // vCenter root certs. Make sure I spell this right. I just really like typing. .0. All right, this should be the appropriate file path to a root cert that we can use. Now, the last thing missing from this command is the actual name of our binary. Which if we go to stem cell, it's going to be this. So I'm actually going to go ahead and navigate over to this directory in PowerShell. I just think it'll be easier to copy from there, in all honesty. So we go to Windows stem cell, let's do an ls, and here are the contents of our directory. Go ahead and copy this into our command. Let's paste it to access it. So we're almost ready. This is a command we're actually going to call from PowerShell from inside that directory. But let's just sync back up with the documentation. It's like I've been talking for a long time. We've constructed our stem build command. Let's just do, we have the binary, IP, the VM username and password, our base vCenter URL, our vCenter username and password, inventory path. We also have a file path to our certs file because we have to provide our own certs in this case. So I believe the last thing we need to do is just make sure that our machine is running. Log into the vSphere web client real quick.
It doesn't need to be running.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh.
And look at line 17, by the way.
Oh, of this? Oh, should this be? Oh, it just should be capitalized at all.
No, your tick. You need a space just before the tick.
Oh, I see. Huh, okay. So where would the best place to like restart be from an editing perspective?
Right here. We're now going to copy this and put it in PowerShell and run it.
All right. So I'm just gonna leave this page too before I say that. Okay, cool. All right, so now that we have our stem build command, we're gonna go ahead, copy it in, paste it onto PowerShell, and we should be able to run it. Just doing one last check with my eyes. All right, let's go ahead and go for it. All right, Canada DC VM stem cell 2019.6. Stem cell not found. Huh. All right, I guess let's try to debug this issue real quick. 6, and we're just gonna power it on. So stem build is now running. Machine has been powered on. Here it still says powered off, so I do want to refresh and at least see it. Just for peace of mind. All right, it's got an IP address and everything. Now let's go back to PowerShell. Fire up the command we just ran, and all right, now it's actually running, so now we just wait for construct to finish. All right, so here it tells us the script has finished executing. But we do want to wait for the machine to shut down. So while our construct command is running, it'd be nice if we could see what's happening in the VM. So here's what we would need to run. Let's password. All right, let's refer to the documentation real quick. So we just have to get the content of our log.log file. Let's go ahead and do that. Can't copy and paste into this machine here, so I'm just gonna go to the root C drive. Need to be in PowerShell. And then get content path vision log.log, and then wait so we can just look at it. So now I'm just going to watch this output and wait. Well, it looks like our machine just shut off, which is a good sign. I'm going to go ahead and sanity check that in our vCenter web UI. Go ahead and refresh here. We're just checking to see that it's powered off. And it looks like construct is finished. So now we can move on to the package command.